December 15th, the Unification Council came to the end in the walls of ancient Sophia. There was solemnly proclaimed the creation of a new church designed to unite all Ukrainian Orthodoxy and to become one of the local Autocephalous Churches.
Слава Україні! Цей день остаточного здобуття нашої української незалежності від Росії. І Україна тепер вже не буде пити, кажучи словами Тараса Шевченка, з московської чаші московського труту. Що це за церква? Це церква без Путіна.
The president, civil servants and the media reported triumphantly and pathetically about the beginning of a new era in the history of Ukraine and world Orthodoxy. However, did everything happen the way they put it? Petro Poroshenko, Andrei Paruby, the elected head of Orthodox Church in Ukraine, OCU, Epiphany, and all others solemnly proclaimed that the Kiev Patriarchate, the Ukrainian Orthocephalous Church and the Ukrainian Orthodox Church rolled into one structure.
Внаслідок рішень ієрархів трьох православних юрисдикцій сьогодні і народилася нова, об'єднана і незалежна Українська Православна Церква.
Ми зуміли об'єднати три гілки українського православ'я в єдину помісну православну церкву.
But is it really so? 42 so-called bishops from the Kiev Patriarchate and 12 from the Ukrainian Orthocephalous Church took part in the work of the Unification Council. In fact, the Synod of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church did not bless its bishops and clerics to participate in the meeting.
Священний Синод ще раз підкреслив неможливість духовенства, єпископів і вірних чад Української Православної Церкви брати участь в так званому об'єднавчому соборі.
Nevertheless, two bishops did arrive at the council, Simeon Shostatsky and Alexander Drabinko. Once again, two bishops of the UOC out of 97. The Ukrainian Orthodox Church is twice as large as the Kiev Patriarchate and the UAOC combined. Is it possible to call the new OCU structure as the Church of all Ukrainian Orthodoxy, if practically the entire Ukrainian Orthodox Church did not participate in this council? A rhetorical question, for 2% of the bishops who chose to participate in the council is nothing. That is, the Unification Council is unification indeed, but it is the unification solely of the Kiev Patriarchate and the Ukrainian Autocephalous Church, no more than that. The Kiev Patriarchate and the Ukrainian Orthocephalous Church, structures that are not recognized by any of the local churches of the world, including Constantinople, participated in the council in full force. Here is a letter from 1995 which states that according to Fanar, the Kiev Patriarchate is not one of the canonical churches. Since 1992, Constantinople has completely supported and approved all punishments and bans imposed on Philaret by the Russian Church, which is proven by the document signed by Patriarch Bartholomew. Accordingly, all the episcopal ordinations performed by Philaret during this period could not be recognized by Constantinople either. Since 1992, Patriarch Bartholomew has forbidden his clergy to even approach Philaret, let alone contact him. However, on October 11, 2018, the Synod of Constantinople, without any repentance or ecclesiastical court, reinstated Philaret to his hierarchical rank. But could it retroactively legalize ordinations performed by the person who was not even a member of the church, let alone a bishop? It couldn't. That is, almost all the people present at the council, in the eyes of world Orthodoxy, are not bishops, nor Epiphany Dumenko, the elected head of the OCU, is a bishop. The representatives of Fanar have said many times they came not to deepen the split, but to heal it.
Ми приїхали сюди не для того, щоб розділити українське православ'я, а а наоборот, зробити ще більше кроків для того, щоб принести те всім бажане єднання до Української православної церкви.
Наша мета і наш критерій Константинопольської церкви – це здійснення того, що може об'єднати священних дітей. І також материнська церква переймається тим, щоб уникнути розколу і подолати поділ, щоб створити діалог та єдність.
Yet, long before the council, it became clear that such words are outspoken falsehood, since the leadership, the clergy, and the believers of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church many times declared that they would not unite with schismatics. Did Patriarch Bartholomew and other hierarchs of Fana know about this? They did know, but still pursued their cause, and they got to the point of absurdity, contrary to the existence of the UOC, which they themselves yesterday called the only canonical church in Ukraine. Fana legalized the schismatics and patched them together to what is Autocephalous Church now. If talk is cheap and not proven by deeds, then this talk is a lie. Speaking of unification, the hierarchs of Fana, in fact, have cast in stone the schism of Orthodoxy in Ukraine. In his last letter to his beatitude Onufri, Patriarch Bartholomew stated that after the council, he would no longer consider him Metropolitan of Kiev. Addressing you as the eminent Metropolitan of Kiev, in a form of oikonomia and condescension, we notify you that after the election of the primate of the Ukrainian Church, you will not be ecclesiologically and canonically able to bear the title of the Metropolitan of Kiev, which, anyway, you possess today in transgression of the prescribed terms in the official documents of 1686. However, during the enthronement of his beatitude Onufri on August 17, 2014, Patriarch Bartholomew said something completely different. Then he did not express the slightest doubt that his beatitude Onufri is the legal Metropolitan of Kiev and primate of the Ukrainian Church.
Варфоломей, архиепископ Константинополя, Нового Рима и Вселенский патриарх, его высокопреосвященству Онуфрию, блаженнішому митрополиту Київському. З братньою радістю ми дізналися про обрання вас на історичний і славний престол Київської митрополії. Напередодні світлого свята Преображення молимося Господові Ісусу Христу, щоб Він дарував вашому блаженству духовну силу вести стадо віруючих до споглядання Його божественної благодаті. Ми преподаємо вам з Вселенського патріархату наші братські вітання і молимося, щоб Господь споглянув із небес і побачив, і відвідав ваш виноградник і охоронив те, що насадила його правиця.
Patriarch Bartholomew also spoke that his beatitude is the legitimate primate of the canonical church at the Assembly of Primates of the Local Orthodox Churches in Chambézy in 2016. What has changed in the past time frame? Maybe Metropolitan Onufri has committed some kind of ecclesiastical crime. No, he hasn't. He has been honorably carrying the obedience of primacy, and no one can question this fact. His beatitude has the highest authority in the Orthodox world.
Υπάρχει ο μακαριότατος αδελφός μας Onufrios. Ένας блаженніший митрополит Onufri. Ένας ευλογημένος άνθρωπος του Θεού, ένας πραγματικός μοναχός. Благословенный человек Бога, настоящий монах.
Блаженнейший выделяется за свою духовность, блаженнейший Онуфрий за свои молитвы. Его очень любят на Афоне, в Иерусалиме и уважают. И думаю, что все будут объединены вокруг него. Блаженство Онуфрия ценят и уважают все предстоятели поместных церквей.
Обращаюсь к украинскому народу и прошу, чтобы они держались канонической православной церкви, в которую возглавляет митрополит, блаженнейший митрополит Онуфрий. И вся Святая Гора принимает и признает только каноническую украинскую церковь во главе с митрополитом Онуфрием.
Владыка Онуфрий, если я могу о нем так говорить, потому что так ближе сердцу, конечно, блаженнейший предстоятель УПЦ. И такое. Но владыка Онуфрий, так он чувствуется как человек. Один истинный православный архиерей. И про меня это было очень-очень потрясающее впечатление. Я за него благодарен Господу. И думаю, что вот именно таков должен быть предстоятель Украинской Православной Церкви в это сложное для нее время.
Thus, we can safely say that it's not his beatitude Metropolitan Onufri who has changed, but Constantinople that has changed. Why? A question to Patriarch Bartholomew. Many were surprised that President of Ukraine Petro Poroshenko was sitting in the Presidium of the Council at the right hand of Metropolitan Emmanuel of Constantinople. While such behavior of the head of state was quite natural for the Roman emperors, it looks strange for Ukraine. Why the president disregards the constitution, which clearly states that the church is separated from the state and directly participates in the creation of a new church structure, is very difficult to say. During the work of the Unification Council, it was said it would be supported by the prayers of the believers on the Sophia Square. It means the believers of the very church which was getting united were supposed to pray there.
Уявіть собі, майже 11 годин, майже 40 тисяч людей на морозі стояли і молилися тому, щоб церква відбулася.
Paradoxically, those who had gathered on Sophia Square on December 15th did not have a single icon, a single banner, nothing, only state flags. Yet there was set up a stage and screens. The folks listened to the concert, had fun and waited for the end of the so-called council. Everything going on near the walls of Sophia was the least like a prayer, but was painfully reminiscent of the Euromaidan. Everything was the same as it was then, the stage, the screen and people with flags. Actually, Andrei Parubi put it boldly.
5 років тому ми стояли на Майдані, також на морозі, плече до плеча єдині. І сьогодні ми разом, як тоді на Майдані. І поки ми будемо разом, ніхто не переможе нас.
Even after the Unification Council came to an end, not a single prayer was heard. The elected head of the OCU, Epiphany, thanked Filaret, thanked Poroshenko, thanked Parubi, thanked the deputies of the Verkhovna Rada, but never remembered about God. Only the anthem. On the day of the council, all the entrances to Kiev and the city center were flooded with buses with non-resident numbers. To the trains that came from regional centers, additional cars were coupled. Social networks teemed with reports that public sector employees complained they were forcibly taken to Kiev. The correspondent of Hromadske channel was bewildered when he said that access to the Sophia Square was possible exclusively according to the lists, which indicated the affiliation of a given group with a particular public sector entity.
Тут ми помітили таку цікаву деталь, організовано все відбувається, тобто люди, направду, як говорили попередньо, що від різноманітних державних установ, організацій, от я на вході стояв з вулиці Володимирської, і там пропускали людей по списку, казали, так, це наші, це не наші, це наші, це не наші, це бібліотека, це ні, і тому подібне.
Moreover, those who wanted to get to the square being not on the lists were forbidden access.
Є проблема в тому, що ті, хто, так би мовити, не по списках, які не були, так би мовити, акредитовані на цю подію, вони отримують певні проблеми, коли проходять сюди через рамки, тому що виглядає так, що визначена кількість людей сюди має прийти, і це насправді доволі дивно. І от чув вже нарікання деяких людей щодо того, мовляв, я просто так прийшов, я не можу сюди потрапити, мені дуже важко стояти, наприклад, на якійсь зоні, тут все поділено по секторах.
That is how a beautiful picture was created of enthusiastic supporters of the OCU, who allegedly are the very Ukrainian people eager to secure the new church. On August 13, 2014, his beatitude Onufry was elected Metropolitan of Kiev and all Ukraine. Literally the next day, he began to receive congratulations from the local churches. On August 17th, representatives of almost all autocephalous churches arrived to attend the enthronement of his beatitude in the Kiev-Pechersk Lavra, including Metropolitan Emmanuel of France, the one who presided over the Unification Council. We can see Metropolitan Onufry was immediately recognized by the fullness of World Orthodoxy as a canonical head of the Ukrainian Church. 1 week following the council, none of the local churches except Constantinople sent their congratulations. And this is very disturbing to the president. When there is no recognition but one wants to get it, a little information is better than none. The situation is turning into comical. Petro Poroshenko says that the Catholic news portal reported the creation of the OCU and positions it as the beginning of the recognition of this structure.
А сьогодні на сайті Ватикану з'явилося повідомлення про те, що в Україні створена церква і обраний предстоятель Блаженнішої Єпіфанії. І це точно буде зараз ширитися.
The project of Petro Poroshenko is almost accomplished. A new church is created. The president has fulfilled his election pledges. But what do we have in the end? The fruit of the titanic efforts of the authorities is a structure built on untruth. The untruth from the president and his supporters that the unification of the whole Orthodoxy occurred. The only canonical church, the UOC, remained faithful to its primate and did not participate in the unification of schismatics at all. The untruth from Fanar, the words of Constantinople that they ostensibly unite all Orthodoxy, never became true. And what about the Ukrainian Orthodox Church? Our church remains the church, the one that is almost 2,000 years old. The one that survived not just temporary politicians. She survived the rise and fall of empires, the birth and collapse of powers, ideological confrontations and global cataclysms. And the church in Ukraine is led by the real primate, a balm, given to us in these difficult times by the merciful God. Now, it is not easy for believers of the church, but we were not promised it would be easy. On the contrary, we were promised it would be tough. But it does not scare us. The truth is, power and politics are not with us, but God is with us. And if God is for us, then who is against us?